Hello. You are kind of close, Alejandro. We could say that it's space related. Hi, Don. Dead leaves. No, it's a tree with no leaves. It will take another 30 minutes to finish. Some character from a video game. Well, not quite. It might be in some games as a mod, maybe, or as a limited pack or something like that. But it's not a character from a game. Well, it first appeared in cartoons, in animation, and then it actually appeared in a series with live series with actors. First letter. Okay, it's a B. No, it's not a Fallout character. It's a character that was very interesting because it appeared in a series of another character. Sounds weird, right? It was a side character, but it became very important. No, no, it's not. It's not Walking Dead. By the way, very good series. At least the original one, because there were a lot of spin-offs. My precious, it's not my precious there. The beggings? No beggings. No, it doesn't have superpowers. It's a very good fighter. It's a very good fighter that fights both with handguns and also with melee weapons. And Alejandro was a bit close. That astronaut, the action takes place somehow in space. It's not on Earth, so you are getting close. How did you how did you manage to go to Boba Fett? Yes, indeed, it's Star Wars universe, but it's not Vader nor Luke. Ah, a jetpack, yes, getting closer and closer. We are very close with Boba Fett, both of you, but it's not Boba Fett. He's not the only one in Star Wars with a jetpack on its back. No, it's not Django either, but still close. Who else does have a jetpack? Yoda. No, it's not Yoda. Hint was that it first appeared in an animation series, so you may start from that. Then it was seen in a series, live series, but not in a movie, only series. And Bond, James Bond. Nope. Maybe James Vagabond. No, it's not Bane, but you gave me a great idea. Maybe the next one will be Bane. Really cool character. More hints. Let me think. What hint should I give you that will help but not tell you directly the answer? Let me think a bit about that. Yes, you are right. It's indeed Bo-Katan. You guessed it. Very good, very good. Well, the story is that I did work on this Bo-Katan for about 2 days of editing, modeling, and so on, but didn't come out as I wanted it to be. Kind of fragile and small and very hard to clean, because when you 3D print such a character, you need to use a lot of supports. Those supports, then you need to cut them to break them off from the character there. And when you break them off, you break details from the original one here. So it no longer has a visor. This arm, as you can see, it's almost broken, so it gets very complicated. So I did a lot of improvements to the original model, try to strengthen it, and then also scaled it up to make it more resistant, bigger, and it should still have very good details. So I'm also very curious how this is going to end up when it's done. Okay, I'm going to show when it's ready, but I'm not going to clean it right away because this needs to cool down entirely, and that takes a bit of time, and it's also recommended to leave it a bit more, something like an hour. I read some mixed reviews that when you are printing with this stuff, the plastic has an effect of recrystallization. So when you do that, you need to let it recrystallize so it's easier to break off. Yes, it's a P1S from Bambu Lab. It's a very, very good printer. It's very easy to work with, and you don't need a lot of knowledge to make it work. I looked for a 3D printer and studied the market for something like 6 months maybe, and this is what I ended up with after all of that time. It's very, very easy to use because it's something like when you take it out of the box, you only need 15 minutes to set it up, and you don't have to do calibration and stuff like that, almost automated. It's very easy, just follow the app, QR code is very simple, very user friendly. You can do advanced stuff with it, but you don't need advanced knowledge for it to work. I'm using PLA, normal PLA plastic. It's the cheapest, easiest to work with, and it prints very well. It sticks to the original bamboo plate very well. It doesn't come off, doesn't do spaghetti monster errors or stuff like that. Only if you do mistakes, big mistakes, such as not cleaning the plate, leaving it dirty, putting your fingerprints on it. Otherwise, if you wash it just with soap, it works really nice. Oh, really nice. So you order one. Yeah, it's a very good printer. Mine will make, it has almost 1 year since I have it. And it's very good. I only have one single problem with it, and that was yesterday or the day before. That's why I'm printing now more. I had a broken filament into the AMS. The AMS holds 4 colors and it can automatically change them. You can put 4 AMSs to the printer, so it's going to be with 16 colors in total. Very nice to print in color, but it takes a lot of time to do that because it changes the filament each time. When it does a new layer with another color, it needs to take the old filament in, back, cut it, then put new filament in. It does it automated. You don't need to do anything to it. It changes, and it can change, as I told you, between 16 different colors, and you can 3D print in color very nice, but it takes a lot of time to change the filament for it. There is this Grogu here was 3D printed in color. It took a lot of time, something like 8 or 9 hours if I remember correctly, and it only used 3 colors: green, brown, and black. But for instance, the eyes are black, so each layer, when the printer goes, because it has both green and black at the same level, it needs to change the filament for each layer 2 times, black and green. And so where it has here parts like green hand with brown torso, there is a trick. You can actually, if you are very good in modeling, you can make it from parts and assemble them. Some people also paint them. Yeah, I also remove what is printing usually directly, but I've managed to break a lot of models doing that. So I'm now leaving it to cool and only then taking them out, and also taking the supports later. At least I'm going to try that way, because I've broken a lot of parts from my models when breaking supports, and I don't have the patience and fine tools to clip all of those tiny parts here. You can see. Yeah, only one issue I had, the one with the broken filament into the AMS. But as I told you several days ago, took the AMS apart. It only has 2 screws and 2 plugs. It's very easy to take apart, and you just unplug the tube that the filament goes through. It has a spring-loaded clip. Press the clip, take the tube out, then put something in or take the filament out and assemble it back together, and it's working like new. So not a major problem. And the printer is very smart because it has a lot of sensors and it can do a diagnostic right away, and it usually tells you what is happening. So it told me that I have probably broken filament into my AMS, and it was right. so I didn't have to debug it a lot. It took something like 10 minutes to fix it. I did a live video on that as well. So it should be available now as a video on my channel. It was very simple to do. It still has 13 minutes until it's done. I did another fail today. It failed like this. The supports that you see on the plate there came off because of my error. I have used supports with no brim and also try to tune them so that they could come off the model much more easy, but one of them came off from the plate because it didn't have a brim to fix it, and also it was not strong, so I had to stop the printing because it was trying to print directly in air with no support. Only one support failed, but it happens, you learn. A very nice thing is with the Bambu, they have a very nice wiki where they explain a lot of things and how to set them up, so it gets easier. Oh, nice. RC car. Very nice. Several years ago I was into RC cars, but not with 3D printing. I still have some models. I really like, there were some series, cheaper ones from China called JLB and VCar. There are some kind of clones of higher end, more expensive models, but they were quite reliable, and you can find very cheap spare parts for them, so they were great for bashing and playing around with them. And they had a clone of Hobby Wing motor, and it supported 4S ESC, and it has 120 amps, and with a 4S battery you can clock something like 100 kilometers per hour with them. They were very fun cars. And I remember that I have changed the receiver and transmitter and found receivers with built-in gyros, and they were very stable at high speed, really nice also on a rough terrain. It's actually at the, not at the start of my YouTube channel, but more at the beginning than now. I was a lot into drones and RC stuff, planes and so on. I had a lot of builds, tests, crashes with them. It was very fun. Oh, really nice. 1 to 10 scale. Yeah. Audi Quattro. Yes, a legend. And what electrics do you use on it? Is it also 4x4 or just two-wheel drive? Yeah, you're right. The jack pack, it's a lot more visible. I try to model it as much as possible to look like the one in the series, especially on the original animations, because the jetpack is a bit different from other Mandalorians and characters, or at least they don't look the same. They have small things that don't look alike, so I try to model it exactly as the one of Bo-Katan. Four-wheel drive, really nice. Are you using three differentials? Does it have a center differential and a front and rear, or you just split front and rear 50-50? On my Chinese models, they had one of them had open differential, central differential, but it was made to be filled with silicone oil. So if you put a lot of silicone oil into it, it kind of locked, and it acted like almost 50-50 differential, very good for off-road. And if you let it without oil or very light oil, it was very good at cornering. It was very nimble. Front and rear, right. Nice. You should make a video of that and leave a link or something for it on either of my videos. I'm curious how it's going to look when finished. Yeah, 3D prints that you paint really look great. And they also save you the trouble of printing in color. That's another option to have. There are people that paint these models, so they don't use an AMS or colors. It keeps the printing more fast and simple, and then they have brushes and things like that, aerographs, and the resulted model looks really nice, seen on some hobby groups. Oh, it only has only 4 minutes to go. It's going to finish the head and the visor. I'm really afraid with the visor. I did a lot of tweaking of the visor because it's very thin, and it has the suspended part, the lens that the Mandalorian use when they target, and that's like a golf puck or something like that. It's just a part on a very thin part, and it's going to print it, but the part that should fold is suspended. So the printer needs to do supports for that also. So it's going to put supports under the suspended part, and the suspended part is fixed on a very thin part. So when you break the supports away, you're probably going to break also the suspended part. So that's going to require a lot of patience. Okay, so the head is done. Only the visor and the other gun is under work. I see a bit of stringing there, and it might be because this is a bit too hot. I'll close the door because it's a lot more noisy with the door open. I do have the top off. I actually did a spacer for that. So the top glass plate is higher, and I also has venting holes. It's one of the first mods that I did for this printer. Seems that the stringing has stopped. If I open the door, and it's done. Hooray! Right. Let's wait for it to finish. It's now taking the filament back in, and it's lowering the model so we can pick it up. Nice. Let me move the camera a bit so we can open the door. There you go. Our Bo-Katan is ready. I'm just going to leave it there a bit. The plate is very hot. Okay, not going to take it off right now, but I'm going to rotate it this way so you can also see it from this part, on this side. You can see the model better, and this way. A lot of trees that I need to cut and clear, but it looks nice. There's a bit of stringing here, as you can see, but not a big issue. You can clean that up. The visor looks a bit more solid than on my previous build. Hopefully it's going to stay in place when I clean this up. Right, so now I'm going to let it cool and then the work will start. And I'm going to probably come up with a small video later with the final result of how this came up. So I'm glad that you are with me. Maybe we can do this another time as well. So until then, see you and bye bye.